What the heck? We'll go live. We'll go live. I can't hear. There we go. Am I? There we are. There we are. If you guys are going to send super chats, we'll go live now. Chad's on his way. We're going to have Vlad Elkins, the epitomous Vlad Elkins, showing up. The Whiskey Librarian for $2. Good morning, Cappy Chan. Good morning. Good morning. It's not morning. It's 1 in the afternoon here, Central Standard Time. Cappy feels like shit. Cappy's burnt out. Cappy took a whole day off yesterday. An entire day off. And I have not done this probably in 10 years. It's been so long. All right, we're going to let this guy fresh out of the shower on. Hey, what's up?
What's happening?
Nothing much. I was telling the audience I took my first day off, like truly off, where I didn't worry or concern myself with anything for a 24-hour period.
I can't wait to have that happen. What day is it today? Date.
Hump day? It's the 16th. You're free. That's why I kind of wanted to have you on the show. You're not free? I thought you told everyone to fuck off and they weren't going to do the extension till May 17th.
There's always that, I'm going to say this year, there's always that 20% that just won't play ball. Wait do you see what I do with their fees, man? Like, I gave them explicit instructions not to do this.
And they still did it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they did.
What is a benefit to society? Do you have your microphone on? You sounds like you're being recorded on your laptop.
Maybe I'll go back and come in. I actually don't have my microphone. It's in my office.
That would explain why you sound like shit right now. Yes, yes.
Should I go out and come back in?
You should probably go out and get back. Yeah.
Here, let me try that.
All right, I'll see you later. This is very important, serious podcasting stuff. We're professionals. We're fucking winging it. Anybody says we're doing anything professional, they're liars. We don't know what the hell just happened. That's it. How's that?
Check.
Way better. Very good.
Good. Okay.
All right, good. What did you do? You ran out and grabbed it? Just plugged
it
in?
No. I think I had this hardwired with Ethernet, and I don't think it was fully connecting. So I think we're good now.
Boy, I want to have, when I get my recording studio over in South Dakota, I want it squared away, man. I want it's plugged in and we go plug and play and nothing to worry about it. But so anyway, all right. So it's not the end of tax season for you.
It's not the end of tax season, but I'm not putting pressure on myself to actually work hard, up until May 17th, because I told you, man, I gave them a warning. I said, this is not an extended deadline for you, so expect to wait. And, I didn't say anything about raising their fees, but I'm going to do it because I told them not to do this. Yeah.
And did they do it?
Some of them complied and, they were very appreciative. They're like, yeah, you're right. We should just get it done by the deadline. But it's the same people that procrastinate.
How, after these several purges, are there these same people still around? Like, wouldn't you have gotten rid of them in the first purge?
Because I keep raising their fees and they keep not caring.
Keep paying?
They keep paying. So it's like they're paying to procrastinate, which, you know what, man? I mean, at the end of the day, you, me, we're all kind of whores. So I'll take their money.
Not only are we kind of whores, we all are whores. And if they're going to, and the real trick on your part is to not get upset about it or angry. They're willing to pay the extra fee. Well, then you can't get too upset.
I'm just a little, not very upset, but a little bit upset because, I mean, this is the second April 16th in a row where, I'm still not out of the woods with this, because normally it's just the best day of the year for me.
Yeah, it's got to be like summer break. Remember when you get out of school, the last day of school? Oh, God, that was like being released from a Nazi concentration camp because teachers are Nazis. But yeah, no, I bet you it's got to be somewhat similar.
It is. But the good news is that at least there's only 4 days until 420. You know what that is?
Really? Yeah, I know.
Just making sure.
No, I am, but I'll be honest. I disagree with yours and Atham's use of the herb.
It would mellow you out, my man.
and there's a compelling argument that maybe that would be the case, but yeah, I just think, no.
Well, mine's medicinal. Like I got a card from a doctor and everything. So
what was it? Did you actually have an ailment that required it, or?
no, the doctor is a client of mine, and I asked him for it, and he just gave it to me. So
At least we're honest.
I get headaches sometimes. You know, they help with headaches.
Yeah, I get headaches too. I take an ibuprofen or an aspirin or whatever. I don't even take that stuff. Everyone gives me shit for my drinking, but like aside from drinking, I don't do squat. Like I don't like aspirin. I got off the testosterone. I don't like all these drugs. It's not worth it.
I barely even drink anymore. I mean, people
Really?
still aren't going. Yeah, people aren't going out here, and I don't drinking alone at home. So
No.
yeah.
No,
What's going on with you?
Nothing. Nothing. I'm glad I did we're going to do a good morning Coronachan because we haven't done one in a while.
It's afternoon.
It's afternoon. What did I do? I got back from South Dakota. It was a 10-day, like 16-hour work days for 10 days in a row, and it burnt me out. And can I tell you one of my most enjoyable experiences in life?
Sure, I'm glad you have some.
No, I do. So there's a cigar lounge where your future wife used to work. Remember, Penny?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. She's supposed to work. Right. So your future wife is over there, or not anymore. So it's not one of my favorite cigar lounges. It is my favorite cigar lounge in the United States because the other one got closed down. And so I went there, and this was like day 10 of running around doing errands with, telling contractors. By the way, in red states, your contractors are not exactly the quickest. Some are good. Some are pros. Most of them are a little bit who dang diggly do from Wyoming. And so I had to do a lot of whipping and all that other stuff. And all of a sudden I'm just like, I'm beat, like physically, emotionally, or not emotionally, but psychologically, mentally tired.
I hear you.
Exactly. And you know what I did over at my cigar lounge, my favorite cigar lounge?
You probably had some Rumplements, maybe some whiskey, along with a fine cigar.
You don't mix Rumplements with a whiskey. That would just make it very, very bad. But I had myself a nice Rumplements, a Diet Coke, so I could actually enjoy my cigar, and I had a cigar. And just sitting there, like where you came up, it's like, your engines are cooling off. And it was wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful.
How long did you stay there?
2.5 hours, because I paid the parking meter. That's as many quarters and nickels and dimes as I had. And I did the math. It was 2.5 hours, and it was wonderful.
Should have taken an Uber. Just relax, get a little tipsy.
No, I had a drink. I didn't have like 5. I had one,
really?
But it was just you could feel it going down the stomach. I had the cigar, and there was an interesting. I'll tell you a little bit of a side story. Cheers. There's an older gal with a shawl, not Muslim, white chick, but she had a shawl nonetheless. And so this is a peculiar person, and I just kind of watched her, and she was fidgeting in her purse, and she was taking fastidious notes and everything. Like she seemed to have like maybe a little bit of a mental issue, but it wasn't severe, But and she had her cigarettes. She was smoking cigarettes, not a cigar. And so the guy came in. I said, "Hey, what?" She left. I said, "Hey, what was up with that old lady?" He's like, "Oh yeah, she's a normal gal. She always has cash. She always pays. Nice lady, but she's just a little eccentric and odd." But I kind of enjoyed watching her because there's 2 components to the cigar lounge I'm in. There's the main lounge, but then there's the side lounge, and I was in the side lounge because there's no sports ball. They don't have televisions in the side lounge, so. But she was also there, and it was just kind of an interesting study watching her, like however she got to this point in life, her best use of time was going through and taking notes out of her purse. And I felt a little bad, but she must have some money, or she's a widower or a widow or something like that. She's doing okay, but it was just kind of it was entertaining yet a little bit depressing at the same time, because I don't know about you. I don't want to be ending up the guy taking notes out of his purse. Like I don't want to be 62 years old and that's me.
Yeah, I wouldn't want the same thing. That's not going to happen to you or I. We got too many people to hang out with.
That's true, but don't you worry a little bit about like not cerebral palsy,
Dementia, Alzheimer's.
dementia and Alzheimer's? Yeah, I mean, like we don't control that, do we? I mean, we should probably be screened for it, but boy, that scares the living hell. My grandma had it. It was horrible.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't think it doesn't happen to everybody who had a grandparent or parent that had it.
Right, right.
Because my grandmother had it, but my parents are doing okay. They're in their mid 70s, so
Yeah, it's because your mom's hot. I'm going to tell you this about Mrs. Elkins. Mrs. Elkins keeps herself in shape. All right, you got to admit, she's stayed svelte. She's always put together, probably to more of an extent than your father would like, because I could see she's like high maintenance. But your mom is but your mom's a very attractive woman for 73, 72,
75.
75. Right.
Yeah.
Is your old man older than your mom?
Yeah, he recently turned 77. But I mean, their health is pretty good. They're doing okay.
Yeah, they're doing all right. I'm just saying your mom, she probably drives your dad nuts. But
yeah.
but Mrs. Elkins, she always puts herself together, right? She's always done up, right?
It takes forever.
I know. And we have Mary Jo, who also does the same thing. But all right, maybe your old man's tired of that. But your ma has maintained her she's maintained her beauty into an elder age, let's just say. I mean, she's no Anne Margaret in 1965, but she's a pretty older woman. How's that?
Sure.
Okay. Well,
I mean,
mom. I don't think you're gonna.
Well, here's the funny thing. They've been married officially for 50 years now. I mean, 50 years of being with the same person blows my mind.
Well, it's because I went to the cigar lounge in Minneapolis, and all the guys obviously like my girlfriend more than they like me. Matter of fact, that's pretty much wherever I go. Everybody likes her more than they like.
Yeah, me too.
And you too, right? And Vince and Marcus and our dentist buddy and everybody else, right? So, but I went to the cigar lounge, and they're like, "Why the hell are you here? Where's your woman?" I'm like, "What? Could you just?" But when the girlfriend does come out to that cigar lounge, she does put on a dress and put on heels. She usually dresses up a little bit, so
good.
But at the same time, you get sick of the girl, because they all think like she's this most wonderful, amazing thing. It's like, yeah, you live with her for all this time. You'd be like, oh, get out of here, woman. So
that's why I feel like couples nowadays, I think, it's an old silent generation and boomer thing. I don't know if Gen Xers have it in them to be married for 50 straight years,
I don't think so either. I mean, the divorce rates are about the same. I mean, like we're all throwing everything to the side, and frankly, women were not, certainly in our generation, and it's only getting worse as you get younger. They were not brought up to be, I don't want to say submissive, demure. Is that
cooperative? How about cooperative?
That's a great, yes, exact. That's you nailed it. Cooperative instead of adversarial.
If I had to describe the vast majority of women I've tried to date here and failed with, some of which you've met, like the word that's consistent with all of them is difficult. Difficult.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No, it's and I don't know about you, but you're no young guy anymore. You're like 42, 43. It's
little younger, but you're right. I'm not young anymore.
You're not young anymore, but you ain't got the time for this bullshit.
No.
And I don't know if you ever watch Fresh and Fit.
Yeah. Ever since you were on there, I check it out.
Right. So I check, and Better Bachelor was on there.
Yeah, he had a great episode.
Yeah. But I'm watching these girls, and just listening to them is tiring.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't care how hot you are, how good looking you are, how much you might. It's just like, no, I don't want to have any. That just sounds like a pain in the ass.
Did you ever watch Kevin Samuels? I know you don't like to watch YouTube that much, but
no, I don't mind. I download and convert to MP3. I haven't binged on Kevin Samuels left. I'm sure him and I would enjoy each other's company very much and be ideologically and philosophically aligned.
Oh yeah,
but I haven't. I saw a little bit of him when he was on Fresh and Fit, and I just don't have.
No,
Dude,
that's
like,
okay.
yeah. Yesterday, you know what I did?
You went to the cigar lounge, got some good alcohol cigar, watched
No
autistically.
cigars. I had 3 Rumplemans over the course of the day. One
Oh
at
yeah.
about 11 a.m., one at like 3, and then one at 7. And then I sat on my Shea Lounge that I just purchased from a buddy of mine. And then I listened to some podcasts. That was it. It was
Which
real nice.
ones? If you feel like
Joker.
sharing.
Listen to
Oh,
Better
Joker, yeah.
Bachelor. Yep. And then Kings and Generals. I listened to Kings and Generals, and I forgot which episode they were talking about. It was something that happened in the past, and it was very ancient-y. And but yeah, it was but no guilt. Did nothing. Didn't work out. I did not produce 1 penny of GDP. It was just nothing.
I'm supposed to be doing that today, but I'll shut up about it.
No, okay. So what? Did you not fire everybody or what?
No, well, like I was saying, I went ahead and just raised their fees only because they're going to pay him and they don't care. So whatever.
Right.
Still have stuff I got to do a little bit over the weekend. Yeah, you know how? So, here's something for you.
Mhm.
Quarterly taxes 2021. You paid those at the first opportunity, right?
I do. Yes. What about them?
Okay. Well, yesterday had a shit ton of that because April 15th is when
Oh yeah, you
most
got paid
due.
this. Right.
Man, people's incompetence about knowing how to do that just blows my mind. It's not hard.
Should I be foolish in asking this question? But like, I understand. Let's say you're a 20-year-old realtor and you get lucky and you make some sales and you didn't know you had to pay your quarterly taxes. Shouldn't 1 year where the CPA comes in and says, hey, you got to pay quarterly taxes, shouldn't that solve the problem? And then every successive year, like, oh, I got to pay sales tax, income tax, or whatever else, my quarterly taxes. Are these the same people? Like, what? They just don't really? They don't know they got to pay their quarterly taxes?
Oh, they know. They just don't care. Or they're too lazy or they don't want to deal with it. Or
So
I just charge them a lot. I mean,
well, it'd be like, I don't know, like diabetes people, they got to take insulin, right?
yeah.
Isn't it roughly the same level of importance? I mean, I know the IRS isn't really going to throw you in jail. They'll probably fine you or something like that. But isn't it kind of like, hey, I ought to do this? Or
The
like,
best way I can describe it, here's how I can describe it. Now, I think I told you this. My 2 biggest niches are therapists and hairstylists, mainly therapists, but I got a bunch of
okay,
hairstylists business. They just don't do well with things involving numbers and keeping things straight. Like most of them have bookkeepers helping them, and especially the therapists don't even have any overhead. So I don't even know if
yeah,
it's anxiety or I think laziness is part of it, but they just won't do it.
because if it was something else, what you're presenting to me is that a significant percent of the human population is just too stupid to figure this out. And I've always found that when there's a threat of death or pain or starvation or hunger, people also get very mature very quickly. And I do believe it is this, because they just, how do you not pay your taxes? Like, they got to be making a choice. And are they so lazy and such pathetic people that they procrastinate paying what is already a mandatory quarterly tax, which you'd save money on if you pay it on the right time and you don't pay a late fee, right?
What I think it is, so I think you and I are pretty left-brained. Logic, things make sense.
Okay, but let me interrupt you right here. How can't logic make sense? Like, this is a hard reality. The IRS wants its money. They still go off in a la la land.
They just, I guess, I've been trying to figure this out for years, like why some people are like this. I think when it comes down to doing something unpleasant, a lot of people who aren't really wired the way we are just kind of, oh, I'd rather not deal with that. It makes me nervous. People just kind of freeze when they have to do something unpleasant. That's a lot of my therapists, actually. I better not say it. It takes a special person to be a therapist, and I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. No, it's one thing like, you put off the gym.
Yeah.
Or, oh, I don't really want to go visit my mom. Okay. Something like that. But the IRS is pretty hard. Like, and all you do is you make the situation worse. So to even a slightly competent mind, in my left brain world, wouldn't you just pay the effing taxes like when you're supposed to pay them?
Your
And then you
guess
don't
is
have
as
to.
good as mine, man. I don't know.
Uh,
I've never understood it. I remind people all the time. I talk about penalties and fees, and
and they just.
it's like, oh, tee hee, I forgot again. And I'm just like, don't get
Have
mad
by
when you.
have you asked your psychological therapist what the explanation for this is? I mean, if you got them as
Yeah, I
clients, you might as
have.
well ask them like, "Hey, why are you procrastinating? Is it in the psychology industry or profession that's a bad thing? Is to procrastinate?"
I have almost 100 of them. They're about all S corps for the most part.
Well, that's
Psych
good.
they're very nice people. They treat me well, etc. But they have so much anxiety. This is without a doubt, therapists have more anxiety than anybody. And that makes them freeze up. I someone did explain to me, well, I can only deal with so much and we don't want to think about it. And I'm like, well, that's okay, but it's going to cost you penalties and interest. And for a number of them, they're just willing to endure those
Pay
so they don't
that.
have to deal with it. Yeah. Plus, they like to hold on to their cash. I mean, who doesn't? But
Well, yeah, but it's not my cash. The IRS is this unfortunate, like, dick up my ass partner that I never requested, but it's a mandatory thing. It's like, all right, here's your money. I just prefer it go away. Uh, but then with the therapists, you said are they angstful because of their profession, or
it's
like
just
you
their
just hear bad
personality.
news?
It's
Huh.
just how they're wired. It was explained to me that a lot of times people get into therapy because they need it themselves. And so they want to, work to help other people. I don't get it, man. I just think wired differently than most of us.
Yeah, and that's true. I still don't, Aaron, this guy's going to punch you in your face. You probably ought to duck. I'm like, I better duck. And then I would duck. And it's like, hey, if you don't pay this, the IRS is going to metaphorically punch you in your face with extra fees and all that. Like, oh no, I don't want to do that.
Well,
And
what it is that, well,
Mm.
first thing, therapists have just made a killing since, this pandemic started because they
Oh
can do
yeah,
it. Yeah, they can do it remotely now. You couldn't do
sure.
that before. Plus, everybody's anxious and depressed because of this thing. So in previous years, they've gotten some penalties and interest, but I think a lot of them feel, hey, I'll pay it. It really wasn't that bad. I'll just keep paying it because that's the price that I'm willing to pay to not have to deal with these quarterly estimates. That's what I think is going on, but really they're just too anxious to even deal with money.
Well, I feel bad for him. I feel bad. So,
Yeah,
you want
they're
to get some?
nice.
Yeah, no, there was no doubt about it. You've never said an unkind thing about them at
No, no,
all.
no. Yeah.
To me, the logical guy, like, rent is due. Like, are these the people that like try to skip out on rent? Like, where do they think that's going to end them up? Not that they are, but it's the same logic or flaw of logic, I'd say.
Most of them have, so my clients are mostly female, 80% therapists. For
Okay.
them, it's really the husbands that handle like money matter and financial.
Oh,
Yeah, because
we
they just
need
don't want to deal.
husbands. I want to have a rich husband who takes care of everything for me, and I don't have to work no more or worry about it. That'd be very nice.
Well, as I love Rich Cooper, he says, if you're a guy, you have to perform. If you're a gal, you just have to look pretty and
Show up
show
at the
up.
finish line. Yep, you just have to be at the finish line. Yep. So, you want to handle some of these super chats here? Well,
Sure. Swallow Blue for $5. Hi, Chad. Could I contact you for an interview, school assignment? Okay. Sure. As long as it's not
can
going
I
to take me that long.
can I vouch for him? He's a young, I think Latino,
Mhm.
maybe Caribbean man. Um, and he's not in a good situation. Like, you could just tell family chaos and all that. And he's trying his
Uh,
best to go to school. And so if you could kindly give him an
yeah.
interview, I think that would help out his education. So if you want to do some charity work, it'd be
Yeah,
very
Swallow
nice of you.
Blue, go to elkincpa.com, shoot me a message and we'll set it up. I'm like I was saying earlier, I'm a little bit busy right now, but we'll find a good time and
Yeah.
we'll get it
No,
done.
he's a good kid. He's a good kid. So.
Canada Pearl Harbor, $5. 420. Are we celebrating Hitler's birthday? Yes, April 20th happens to be Hitler's birthday.
Is it Hitler's birthday?
Yeah, yeah.
Really? Oh,
You know that you remember that Columbine school shooting? I guess it was about 20 years ago, maybe 22 years ago,
25. Yeah, it was a
or
while ago.
25.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
deliberately did that on Hitler's birthday, which was April 20th. That's when that Columbine thing
Did
happened.
those kids get killed? Like, did the
They killed
police shoot
themselves.
them? They killed themselves. Okay.
Yeah, at the end of it, when they were surrounded and they'd done all their killing, they just so
Good.
yeah,
I'm glad they're gone. Sound like
yeah.
douchebags. Like, okay, you're gonna make a political statement, right? You're gonna play. You ever see Heathers?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Right. You're all right. Let's say you want to be Christian Slater in Heathers. Like, you really want to make a statement. You do it on a douchebag mode. We're gonna do it on Hitler's birthday. Duh. Like, this kind of lame. And what, they were middle or high school age kids. So it just like, oh, we're doing it on Hitler's birthday. How edgy are we? It's like, not edgy at all. You're just a bunch of douchebags that fucking murdered a bunch of people, assholes.
Yeah. It seems like they were among the first to start these things. But anyway, Adriano Ramos for $2 Australian. Champions League predictions, Chad. The Champions League, it's kind of the worldwide like soccer, best professional championship
Bad sports
ever.
ball teams.
It's sport. Well, I like the bad ones. I think Adriano likes the good ones. Adriano, it's going to be Manchester City. They cannot be stopped. They're just freaking amazing. That's one of the better teams in the English Premier League, in case you don't know. So that's my prediction.
So Manchester, that's United Kingdom, right?
Yeah, yeah. And they have two teams, two very good teams. And the one that's the best one right now is the Manchester City. You've probably heard of Manchester United. That one's,
Yeah. They
yeah.
got two teams in Manchester.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They're that big.
Yeah, I mean they probably have even more teams lower levels, but yeah, at the top flight, it's those two Manchester teams that tend to be the best. Yeah,
and they're playing against Spaniards and Brazilians and
Italians,
Germans. Okay, it's global.
Portuguese.
It's global.
Yeah,
all right, yeah.
yeah,
So this is
global.
the best. This is the best. This isn't just the United Kingdom.
Yeah, this is top of the heap.
Okay, good. Well, I'm glad they kicked the sphere into the net. That's good for them.
DJ Aftershock for $5. Yo, Big C and Little E, you gotta join Sigma Phi with me and my bro Bashir. We're gonna get some apps at Seven Corners at the Republican Corner Bar, bro. Yeah, sure.
Do you know where Seven Corners is?
I think that's in Northern Virginia.
No, it's
No?
Minneapolis. It was the hangout by the law school and the Carlson School of Management. And there's nothing left there. I think Sergeant Preston's is close. Like, there are some key anchor bars, like Grandma's Saloon, Sergeant Preston's, Bullwinkle's. I think they're all gone because, well, let's just burn down buildings and not have people be able to go out in public because of our governor. So this was Minneapolis. At least Chicago has its neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And its enclaves. Like, you still got the Golden Nugget and other places like that. Minneapolis has none of that. It's all gone. Whatever culture Minneapolis used to have, and to a lesser extent, St. Paul. These anchors, these stalwarts, these institutions that were like, this is a Minneapolis bar. It's all gone. There's less than a quarter of the old school institutions that used to exist in Minneapolis, and it's wonderful to see because all these ass wipes in Minneapolis don't get to enjoy any culture. So they get to, I don't know, drink at home or wear their masks or something like that. But Seven Corners is a desolated area now that used to be a much more hopping place.
Do we go anywhere near there when I visited?
No, we didn't, because there was and here's the thing, before COVID, before the riots, it was already dying. Minneapolis sucks. It sucked before COVID. It sucked before the riots. Half the stuff was already gone by the time the riot. This just simply accelerated it. So yeah, there was no reason to go to Seven Corners because there's nothing there. Would be no reason unless you want to see the Carlson School of Management.
Yeah, St. Paul seemed to have the better stuff, bars and stuff.
There's a little more culture, a little more old school class over in St. Paul. That is true, but keep in mind we took you to the places that were still open. A lot of places have also closed in St. Paul.
Benevolence. Sorry, one sec. Benevolence for $5. Aaron, safe birth control for men is population control for the earth, not the LGBT movement.
I'm lost.
Yeah, did you do a video on that or something?
No, I don't think so. I'm wondering if this is a response like if you want to cure poverty, every man should get a vasectomy and only have kids when he wants. But I've thought that one through a little bit. It would remove all control. Women would just be apoplectic about it because they wouldn't have the abortion would not be the final arbiter. It'd just be men like, nope, you have to literally physically extract semen from my ball sack to get seed. The problem is, let's see if you can figure out the problem. What would be the problem of that? Where every man would have to get a vasectomy, or they should get a vasectomy. What would be the problem?
Well, it's kind of like you said, women could no longer call the shots in terms of having a kid, not having a kid, getting, child support money.
Right.
Who
would have kids? Yeah. No, it's a flaw. I thought about it like, economic policy is always a double-edged sword. So you always try to think like there's a slippery slope. There's a huge slippery slope. All the good men would get vasectomies. What would happen with the bad men? And the poor piece of shit douchebags would go and populate and impregnate. So it would only accelerate. It would end poverty for like maybe half a generation. And then every worthless piece of scumbag, like the IQ would tank within not just the United States, but all over the place. So
yeah.
We got a $50 donation.
I saw that. Do you know who that is?
No, I haven't gotten there yet. I'm just, here's Dre with his cheap $2, that's all right, Dre. You got the world's largest miraculous penis. That's okay. Just give us $2, man.
Well, I like his message. Giga Chad is here. Did he find his unicorn wife left in this city? No.
Tried setting you up with a girl down in Dallas. So
I've been happy with how you have been assisting your old buddy here lately.
How many guys have sent you women? I want to know that. How many men have sent you women?
The ones that have tried to fix me up, this is like before I even knew you. It was always with ones that were so unattractive, but they were like, oh, but such a great personality.
Nice personality. Right, of course. Right. She's got a great person. Shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it. Traveler 444.
$5. Last week I hit 40 years of marriage for me. I can say that I will never do this again. Well, I hope not. I mean,
isn't that sad? 42 years of marriage, and he's like, this wasn't worth it. Like, I'm not to say, oh, your life was wasted, but like I look at all the married people I know, and I did the numbers in the Book of Numbers, by the way. Do you know how rare it is to be happily married?
I would say probably not too often nowadays.
And we're looking at a holdover of data. The data I pulled was like a 14% chance of just being married till death do you part. That doesn't mean they're happy, And your mom, who I'm pro Mrs. Elkins, she drives your dad's nuts. I could see it. I could absolutely see it. I see my stepdad getting driven nuts by my mom. It's like,
goes both ways. I gotta be fair.
I know, but it's kind of like, can you be actually happy with the same person after 5 effing decades? Like you inevitably want to strangle them, I'd imagine at some level.
Were you ever a fan of Huey Lewis and the News in the 80s?
Of course. First concert I went to was Huey Lewis and the News at Summerfest 1988.
Well, you definitely know this. You totally know that song where it's like, I'm so happy to be stuck with you.
With you, yeah.
Yes, that's the lyrics are great because they're like, we could find other people, but it's much too late. Like it's just it's a kind of a fight song for what we're talking
Admission of defeat is like, resignation, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, all right, more.
Nonstop Dre for $2 for the background noise. Why isn't comp sci fun?
Because it's not fun. Hard stuff is, well, I don't know. I mean, I guess if you got a niche for it, I always found physics and nuclear physics and chemistry fun.
I never learned the code.
Yeah, there's a piece of me that, like, when this all goes away and some girl out in my past that I dated says, "Oh, Aaron was grapey," I think I will probably go into nuclear physics, some kind of, hard physics STEM thing, because I wasted my time doing finance. So I don't know why computer science wouldn't be fun. Because programming, you ever program a website?
I mean, my website, it's on Wix, and they do most of the work for you. Like they set it up where it's very user friendly. So I'm gonna say no, just because it was
You
like
just
plug and
copy and
play.
pasted your website. Yeah,
Yeah,
I did some more of my programming with both olderbrother.com and assholeconsulting.com, which I know all of you are like, this is a crap website. Yeah, but it's my crap website. And it was really cool figuring out the code and everything. So I could see where for some people computer science would be fun.
I'm thinking of getting rid of my website because I mean I'm pretty much full. All my referrals are, word of
Just
mouth and everything.
keep it up there, man, just so they know it's
Yeah.
authenticity and all that. You don't just say you just put it on your website, not accepting any new clients.
Yeah.
So,
Darkman Jeff, 4.99. Something for the collection plate. Thanks, man. I'm
it's
working
good.
with Jeff right now. We'll get it done.
Cool. He's
Yeah.
got a new picture. He looks like he's got himself a nice beard going on there.
I'm working on that myself.
Yeah, well, we all are. All right, here we are. The $50 donation for a very kind gentleman.
Man, dude, thank you so much. This was pretty awesome.
Unfortunately, y'all wait till Chad's here, and I got to shell out half of this to him. But go on, yeah. Everybody
I
donate
shake
all
my
the money now.
super chat titties. The Shaw 2000 for $50. Thank you for all the wisdom you have passed down to me. I've been a fan since 2016 in high school. Currently studying data analytics at WGU. I think that's Western Governors
Western
University.
Governors University, yeah.
And working security where I can study all shift. Your books and vids have had the highest ROI in my life. Wow, that's really high
See?
praise.
So he was in high school in 2016. So maybe he didn't graduate necessarily in 2016. So he probably graduated 2018, 2019. This is exactly what we want to see. A young man, before he makes any bad mistakes, majoring in the right stuff. Look at this. He's going to probably graduate with very little debt, an employable degree.
The
No,
security
I'm
thing
happy to
is
see it.
great. You can write,
Security is
study.
awesome. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Always said security was security. And there's other jobs like it, but you can, as long as it's the overnight shift, you should be able to work, especially now. Back in my day, unlike, spoiled people like the Shaw here, we didn't have internet. Like I remember bringing this is before laptops even, having to bring a physical computer and like writing my thing, and it was heavy and I had to haul it over. But yeah, nowadays there's no reason that you can't double dip and get yourself a little bit of, study time.
You're giving me an idea because I can just, now that my profession is pretty much all remote, I could get a job as a security guard, sit there and just do taxes all night.
Okay, would the $15 an hour be worth it to you to even become a security guard? And I bet you in Chicago you gotta get a license to do that too.
Yeah, I've had more of like a novelty of it, but yeah, I'm not going to do it. If it's overnight, I'm not going to do it. I wouldn't do it anyway. Fred, what's up, man? Fred Friedman Sowell for $4.99. Didn't have federal income tax until 1913. LSWs and psychs do it to solve their own problems. Thoughts on 13-year-old shot by police on the west side? More rights coming. So we had some stuff happen here where once again, this 13-year-old was out walking around like at 2:30 a.m. and he had a gun. Okay, 13-year-old with a gun.
Yeah. Well, was the
So
father available for comment or no?
Probably not.
Okay. All right. Well, there we
But
go.
he ended up, he ran into, somehow there was a clash with this cop. The cop saw he had a gun. I mean, so he ended up shooting him because the kid thought he's raising the gun. But people are of course trying to blame the cop and they're saying racism and all that. I mean, I don't know what the cop was supposed to do in that instance.
This is why I'll be moving overseas. And I'm moving to a boring rural part of the country where such bullshit doesn't happen. And it still does happen, but just not to the numbers and frequency. But yeah, here's something. The guy that got shot in Brooklyn Center, in the Twin Cities. It's a suburb. I don't know if Brooklyn Center. Just think Minneapolis.
Swain Walker or something.
But
Yeah.
his name doesn't matter. Here's the sad thing: he's dead. Now, he had a criminal record. Right? They're arresting him. He resisted arrest. Now, here's a crazy idea. What if you didn't commit crime? What if you didn't resist arrest? All right. He'd be alive. And I'm not saying the cop did the right thing. I mean, it's a wrongful death probably because you grabbed a taser when it was a gun. So there will be a court case and everything like that. But with the same guy with the riots always starting, it's like, how about you don't resist? I got pulled over in South Dakota, right?
Yeah. Oh, I heard you talking about that.
You know what I did?
You said, yes, sir. No, sir. You complied.
Was he right to pull me over?
That I don't know. Was he?
Not really. It was, I guess U-turns are not allowed in Lead, South Dakota. Okay. So you can't do U-turns in Lead.
Did he ticket you for that or just give you?
No, he didn't. No, he was fine. No, I'm very relaxed with cops. I always put my hands up so they can see it because I understand they got a bad job and all that other stuff. Okay, but here's the question. Was he being a dick pulling me over?
I think he was bored or being a dick.
Yeah, he was being a dick. Okay, now, did I say, fuck you, cop, whitey, like, yes, sir, no, sir, driver's license, and here's my insurance, and by God, and all right, what did you pull me over for? Oh, you did a U-turn. I'm sorry, was that illegal in Lead? Yes. I said, is it legal in Deadwood? He said, yes. He says, like, here's your driver's license. You know who didn't die?
You?
Me. I'm still alive to talk about it. Even if you got an arrest warrant, just don't, they got guns. Forget what's right or wrong. They got fucking guns. Don't piss off the cops. How about that?
Am I a bad person for like having trouble conjuring up sympathy for those who get, they resist arrest and then something happens? It's I feel bad a little bit for even though you sound like a grade A douchebag. What was his name? George Floyd. I feel because he shouldn't have died. Okay. And then there was the guy in New York who was selling cigarettes illegally. And he had a frail heart, and being arrested and restrained put him into cardiac arrest. I feel bad for that guy. But it's like, guys, what are you selling illegal cigarettes for? What are you resisting arrest for? Just okay, yes, no. I mean, what, you think you're going to get away? And it's more of a very practical Machiavellian functional, like, how about we not die? Okay. The cops could be douchebags. They could be wrong, but how about we don't die? And there was even a shooting in Roseville. I'm sure there's plenty of shootings in Chicago, but there was this kid, a younger man, not a kid. And the cop just blasted him away. I think maybe the cop got manslaughter charges or something like that. But there was some, he was smoking pot. Like, just how about not break the law and give the cops a reason to fuck with you? How about that? Does that make any sense? I'm more focused on the second point. I just kind of feel like if people want to commit a crime, they're going to commit a crime. Maybe it's just in the culture. It's you can't stop people from doing what they want to do.
There'll always be criminality. Yes. Yeah. Okay. There's always criminality.
But it's the resisting arrest part that I have the biggest problem with. I mean, you're not going to get shot if you don't resist arrest. You're just not.
Yeah. And as much as I have a disdain for criminals, I don't think someone who's selling cigarettes like there's worse people than someone selling cigarettes illegally.
Oh, and totally, yeah.
What did George Floyd do? Pass on a fake 20? I mean, he's not a rapist. He's not a child molester. And did he really need to die? Well, no, he didn't. But
he didn't.
But he could have not died, not resisting arrest.
Well, they were saying, so I haven't been following this trial. I've been working, like, he was apparently high on fentanyl, so that affected a lot of different things.
Right. And it complicated the issue.
Yeah.
And he made the choice to have fentanyl or whatever drug it was. And being a libertarian, I'm all for it. But by God, I don't care if you're high or not. Don't resist arrest.
Well, no, that's all I'm saying. Like, crime is going to happen. You get caught, you get caught. But this is how you get shot. And I'm sorry if anybody dies, but like I was saying, I'm having a hard time coming up with sympathy if you resisted arrest.
Yeah, I don't have sympathy in one regard, but at the same time, it's kind of like these were unnecessary deaths.
Of course
They could have been avoided.
Yeah.
People could have lived. He could have been an uncle or a brother or whatever. Continue, but now these people are gone, unfortunately. And frankly, they didn't have to be, and it's their own damn fault. And it's just like, a 13-year-old carrying a gun. Even the kid there is probably pretty innocent. Where's the effing dad? Or did mom just spread her legs for the worthless piece of crap sperm donor? And then we're not going to raise this kid. So I feel bad for that 13-year-old kid. But I have a harder time feeling, you committed crime, you got arrest warrants, and you think you're going to outrun the cops. Like, how about you don't die today? It's just.
And I'll fully admit, maybe it's more complicated than I seem to be making it out to be in my head. But I just don't resist arrest. If you get caught, just deal with it. Otherwise, you're going to get shot.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I don't want to get shot. Rule number 1, don't die. Rule number 2, stay out of jail. Rule number 3, don't get anyone pregnant. There's
very quick story for you if you don't know. This is about cops.
Yeah.
I have 2 of my cop clients. I did their taxes this past week, and they actually came into my office, which was nice. And they know our friend, Vince.
Oh yeah, our buddy Vince. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Both of them, I shit you not, both of them took their retirement from Chicago Police Department, and they're going to do something totally, early, because they were just like, screw this, it's not worth it.
Yep. Nope. It's too much of a legal risk. You're supposed to babysit the most degenerate pieces of shit in society, criminals. But then if you actually, and look, at the same time, I'm not forgiving the gal that should have tasered the guy and not shoot him. Nor, do you remember Noor, Noor? He was the Minneapolis cop, shot a Australian gal.
Oh, that doesn't ring a bell.
It was a big thing because he was like the first Somali cop in the city of Minneapolis.
Yeah,
right.
I remember that now.
His race is truly inconsequential to this. Maybe there's some better training. Okay. This is, I'd have to look at numbers and statistics, but like, hey, maybe we do a little bit more training. But no,
well, this one cop who I met with on Monday, he's retiring. This is the best part. So all throughout here, they've been saying, in Chicago, they've been saying cops are racist and everything. This particular soon to be former cop, his wife is black, his kids are black. Like he and I were just talking about it. We're like, yeah, they're calling me racist. And
doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with race. Let's be very clear. It's a bunch of lazy, worthless piece of shit fucks that want free shit. That's it. That's all this is.
And he's a white guy, in case I didn't.
Well, yeah, but he married a black gal, which is fine. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, obviously not racist,
right.
The antithesis of it. This has nothing to do. This is why I like using the word traitism, because it's all about traits. I have a trait. How can I make it or skew it so that I'm oppressed and I deserve other people's money? That's all this is. And I'm fucking sick and tired. It could be, I have this type of gender, or I want to suck this type of dick, or I believe I have this mental illness. I'm so sick of it. It has nothing. And they're cowards, and they do a disrespect to other people who happen to be of that race or that sex or that gender or whatever else. Because now you're first and foremost, you're a fucking asshole. That's what these people are. You're criminal pieces of degenerate shit. And then you run and hide behind your skin color or your gender or your disability or whatever, therefore besmirching everyone who happens to have that skin color, gender, disability, or whatever else. And that's what really pisses me off is these people you cannot look at what they look like or claim to be. Who are they? They're fucking assholes. They're fucking lazy pieces of shit. That's what they are. And then they dare hide behind a trait they were born with and then ruin the reputation of everybody else with that trait. And that's just pisses me the fuck. Because like there's my best friend's gay, right? The vast majority of your interactions with gay people, have they been positive?
Sure. I mean, there are clients, yeah.
They've been friendly and welcoming, sure. And I've had no problems, none whatsoever with the actual gay community. Then you go online Or when it's like, oh my gosh, I'm oppressed and all that. You got the quote gay mafia that is nothing more than a weapons grade victimhood racket. And they besmirch and lessen the reputation of other regular homosexual or non-binary people. And I have a meme out there. Remember the one you took a picture of the Target store? It was like they're when's Gay Pride Month? June. Every month now, every June, out comes the haters and the psychopath. And I even question whether they're gay or not because they just want to be victims. And like, apparently I'm oppressing them somehow because I said, Target, fuck off. I don't want to like buy your shoes with all the gay pride flags. It's like, I'm all for gay rights and all that. I don't need to have it shoved in my face. So every year, the psychopath, questionably, maybe not even gay, but certainly victimhood, ideological, quote unquote, gay people come out. Oh my God, you're oppressing me. You're a Nazi. Da, 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 da. I'm sick of this shit. I am fucking sick of it. You're a bunch of lazy fucks. You don't want to work. You want to commit crime, and then you hide behind a trait you were born with, and you ruin everybody else's reputation. And not to mention you cause division within different groups of people. So I just, sorry, didn't mean to go on a rant there.
It's what we're here for. Also, before we move on, I just want to say I never want anybody to die or get shot. I'm just saying, like, when it happens, you know, they could have prevented it by complying.
I think we all prefer people didn't get shot. I mean, it's kind of, and we're just trying to point out the stupid, like, don't resist arrest, you'll live.
Well, it's dangerous to say anything nowadays, so that's why I thought I'd throw that in.
No, it's dangerous for people to run away from cops, and cops are not going to bat 1,000 guys. Sometimes there might be an accidental death.
Yeah.
So I just, just be careful.
Did we read this one yet? I'm not sure.
No. What did we hear?
It was Fred. He said, Cappy, hands off my gun, you Carlson school dude, bro.
You're not allowed to have guns down there, Fred.
Not really. Juan Doe for €2. Americans discussing championship league. Juan, I know my European soccer. I do. If you like the bad teams, you know all about the good ones. So I know my shit.
Has there ever been like an underdog team, like, the Barcelona farts came in and took it from behind and they beat Manchester? I mean, is there anything like that?
So my favorite league is the English one, the English Premier League. In 2016, it was so bizarre. Like this underdog, know-nothing team won the whole thing so randomly, and everybody was
really,
they're like, how the hell did this happen? And that's the only time that's really ever happened. So
that's like the Cubs winning the World Series. That must have been cool to watch.
Same year, yeah. Fred Friedman salad, $9.99. I paid double for Chad since he studied good major and has MBA, unlike Clary. I'm gonna go out tonight and drink Rumpelmints and beer. Shouldn't mix those. Attractive women in cities have no need for setup. BLM rally with me, dude. I talked to somebody who went down there because it's a client of mine, and they had a protest / rally downtown about all this, shooting and everything. And I talked to somebody who went down there because I had to finish her taxes, and she was just like acting like she did something that mattered and was so proud of herself. She's like, I went down there and my voice was heard. And I'm just like,
did you get paid?
Right. All you did was waste a bunch of time and make me think you're completely uncredible now.
That's what happens when you grow up and win outcome. So,
Dre for $2. Cappy, men die quicker. Why? Because they choose to. Yeah.
That was not my quote. That was somebody else. That one's been around for 20 years. I remember that one. Like, why do men die earlier? Because we choose to.
You're married at least. Mexi Mike for $5. Wait, so if I'm lazy and broke and unemployed, amazing females will love me for the great guy that I am, that my madre told me to be. Nice guys finish first, I hear. Yeah, sure.
Just be yourself. Be yourself. Be kind and caring, and be a feminist and agree with women and support women all the time. Don't hold them to standards. Do you know what's got me into women's pants quicker than anything before?
Being an asshole.
It's called the word no.
Oh, yeah.
Where I disagreed with them. I mean, whatever I would disagree, but that seemed to be the highway, the express route to there, and agreeing with them and being a nice guy. No, never worked. Never worked.
Mike, don't forget to show up with flowers and candy on the first date, and take them out on a very fancy dinner.
Very
for their
nice,
first
very
date,
fancy. Yes. Yeah.
and ask if you can kiss them. Actually, who knows?
Can I hit the can real quick?
Yeah, sure.
All right, we'll be back. Let's give it a minute. You could sing the girl from Ipanema.
I'm going to see if these guys. Let's do a lightning round, guys. I'll answer any question before Cappy gets back in the chat. Tall and tan and young and lovely, the girl from Ipanema goes walking. Man, this awkward dead air time. At least Cappy muted himself, so you can't hear him going pee this time. What got you into soccer? I actually grew up overseas, and that was the big thing, of course. The Premier League was huge back in the 90s. I mean, it's still huge now, so I really got into it growing up. Chad, sing some Huey Lewis and the News. Oh, I wish I knew lyrics to their best songs. Power of Love's, I think, their best one. It's like Back to the Future. What do you think about cryptocurrencies? From a tax standpoint, I think they're funny because the IRS has the hardest time getting their hands on information about them. Whether I think they're long-term viable, I don't know enough about it to say for sure. I have very minimal crypto. Well, back in 2014, a client of mine didn't have cash, so he paid me in crypto. It wasn't a lot, and it was worthless back then, but I kept it, and now it's worth a lot. It's the only crypto I've ever had. It was Bitcoin. Where'd you grow up? I spent elementary school in Honduras and high school in Kenya. So soccer, football was big everywhere. Chad, who hurt you? Oh, Dre, you have no idea. Like every woman has hurt me. I'm such a simp. Chad, favorite movie? I like the movie called Heat with Robert De Niro and Al Pacino. I love that movie. It's sort of like an old Western. Do I like Phil Collins? I know why you're asking that, because you're talking about American Psycho, and that's a really funny quote because I talked about Huey Lewis in the News. Chad, why aren't you married yet? Because marriage is a sucker's bet, and let's just say I haven't really come across women that are marriage material, even though I've been in several long-term relationships that span several years. Juan, yo puedo hablar el español, sí. What makes me a Chad? Well, can't you just tell? I was doing a lightning round. People were asking questions, and I was just
good. That's good. My headphones screwed up here. I can't. This is now my second nice pair of headphones that broke, and I think I'll have to duct tape it. So, all right, let's go to Ahmed. Let's get to Ahmed.
$4.99. Aaron, if you do the Smith & Wesson retirement plan, you would go to hell according to Quran and Bible. So why don't you just ride life out at the end? I mean, you're gonna do that, probably.
Well, what if I'm in incredible pain or paralyzed?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and here's the thing, Con, and I envy you. I wish I don't know if you're Muslim or Christian or whatever. I'm gonna presume I'm Muslim, or at least leaning towards. I don't believe in any of the religions. This is one of the benefits of being brought up by a pastor for a father, is you realize it's all bullshit. And until someone could come in and say, here's the proof, this is the dude, we worship Vishnu. Vishnu is he's the God. Okay. And here's the reason why. The rest of it, not to offend everybody out there, but you had a crazy guy in the desert establish Islam. We don't exactly know who established Christianity, because the Old Testament goes back to the Jews, and so you have the Torah. So there's some shared there. I don't know who wrote it. I mean, I know Moses probably existed, and the Jews probably did escape Egypt and all these other things. But Noah's Ark? Oh, there's a flood, 2 animals of everything. You know how many species of animals there are? What, we're going to fit on a boat of 80 cubits by 50 cubits? There's no. So I have no problems ending myself early if I'm in pain or I'm impaired otherwise. And there's nothing wrong if you people do that either.
If they do it for dogs, they should do it for humans.
Probably. Yeah. And the other issue I have is it's just kind of like, well, why, what kind of religion exists where it's like suicide nope, you can't do suicide. Nope. No matter how bad and tortured your life is. Nope. It's like, no, I think there's times where it's worse to be alive than it is to be dead. And there's nothing morally wrong with that. And until somebody comes in and shows me, hey, Vishnu is the one true God with the scientific method, I'm not believing it. I'm not believing it.
Can you hear on your left ear there?
Not really. No, it's kind of throwing me off a little bit. This is all fucked up, and it's like if I put it like that, it's fine, but it's all right.
Nonstop Dre, $2. Some programming and math is fun, but academia blows. Yeah, I would hate to be in academia.
I have a way to make education free. I just don't know if I want to write about it and present it to America, because I think most Americans deserve to go like $100,000 into debt and be fucking idiots.
Dad teaches and words to my son. Oh, interesting. $5. Security is security. However, security is a career that you never get a win in. It's just a treadmill of work. Once you get good, it's easy money. So you're saying it's a job and not a career.
Yeah. It's look, secure. Really? Do I have an echo now?
Might be small one. I swear I can hear it.
I wonder. Hang on, let me do it this way.
It's really faint. It's not.
It's probably because that headphone is talking into the microphone. Is probably what it is, because it's off my ear now and it's making noise towards the microphone.
Okay, it's better now.
Is it better? Yeah, that's why I switched it over here. Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. No, security is just a job. That's all it is. You're not gonna like make millions working security. It's not a career. It is a profession. I would say it's a profession, especially if you're armed. Then you got to kind of know a little some stuff. And I would be lying if I say I didn't enjoy the occasional tussle with people, because those people deserved it. So no,
they had it coming. Dre for $2.
It's not that they had it coming. It's like by law you need to leave the premises, and I have the right to physically remove you from the premises. Oh, and by the way, you're drunk and high, so it won't be that hard for this $1.55 guy to take you out. So,
Dre again. Cappy, next book, As a Straight Cisgendered White Male.
You know what he's doing there?
What?
Okay, like, so everyone who isn't a white male, when they're making a political point, as a Latina female, as a black woman, which is an incredibly insulting prefix to add to your statement, because it means that, okay, so your brain doesn't have any value. Like, it has to be in the context of your gender and your race. And so when people say that as a white female, whatever comes after whatever comes after that is going to be completely worthless and bullshit, because it's completely colored by their traits. There's been no thought. There's been no independent intellectual curiosity or thinking or philosophy or honesty put into that thought. It's just, as a white female, I just feel. They'll never say researched. Maybe they'll say think, but usually it's feel, which is all bullshit. Okay, because knowledge beats thinking, which beats feeling. Okay, so if you can think, that's like mid-grade. That's like a C+. If you get empirical evidence and data, that's way better. But yeah, that's what Dre's doing over there. Is as a straight cisgendered white male, I just feel that.
So as a little slightly related, I can't stand it. This is usually my therapist's. Like when I'm emailing with them and I look at their signature, below the emails, it has their preferred pronouns. Oh, I hate seeing that shit.
Is it all straight normal? Like,
not always. Sometimes
really?
they're like they, them. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, it sucks to be them.
Yeah. So Dre.
Good Lord, this is what happens with you all the time. Everyone throws their money at us, for God's sake.
Problems.
Yeah, look at, and there's like this schmo here. Like, I think I already missed some super chats already. So who's this idiot?
I think he's been having some problems handling some stuff. For $2, You want some lysergic acid in your
He's
coffee?
your friend. He's not mine. I don't know who this guy is. He's your buddy. That's
When you said, our best friends are gay, were you talking about Atham? Or
no, he's just lame. That's all it is.
Channel 1800 New Zealand, $5. Likes up, people. Shout out to Aaron and Chad. Be safe. Keep your munitions. Well, thank you, man. That's nice. And that is your sister.
That is his sister. No offense, she looks pretty hot.
She's
in shape. Look at her right there. I mean, she's not fat. I'm just looking. I'm like, how you doing? And she's got red hair. So I'm.
Jared Pugh, $4.99. Best national parks or wonders to see in June. Month road trip, no cities, starting in Iowa. Zion.
Yeah, I do Utah. And I do it in early June rather than late June because it's going to get hot out there. I would do Canyonlands National Park. Arches, just drive through because it's in Moab. And then I'd actually go to Cortez, Colorado, do the Canyon of the Ancients. Do not do Mesa Verde. That is an overpriced piece of shit. It's not worth it. And then if he's going to be late June, you know what I would do, dude? I'd go up north. I go to Glacier. I'd go to Glacier, Yellowstone,
I want to
the Bighorn Mountains. Yeah. Do Beartooth Pass. Jared, you got to do Beartooth Pass if you do Yellowstone. All right. So you got to do Beartooth Pass. That's worth it there. So I'm glad I helped him out. Saved him way more than $5 in fuel expense.
Fujin Ryu, maybe Ryu, $10. Been poor or in debt for years, now have greater than $20,000 in savings. With hyperinflation coming, is it too late for me to start investing in the S&P 500 index? What other options do I have? Yeah, the market's still like record highs.
Here it is, Fujin Euro. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen to the stock market. This is why I have no problem like giving a little bit of financial advice because like I don't know what's going to happen. There's always risk. I don't know if there's hyperinflation coming. There may be significant inflation like circa the 1970s we had stagflation. Because we didn't do Zimbabwe where we just like increased the money supply by 100 times. We've increased it by only 2 or 3 times. So your rent and your tuition is going to go up, but what assets are actually going to hold out against inflation? I don't know. I really don't. I have no clue, no idea. So, I mean, historically speaking, the S&P 500 has been a relatively good hedge against inflation. But dude, you could be buying at the peak right now. Cryptocurrency is the same thing. So I don't know. I can't tell you where to invest your money.
I just hope we don't become. You studied history, the Weimar Republic. I mean, pretty soon their currency was like toilet paper.
The United States is the largest economy and the least corrupt largest economy. I'm not that worried. You and me and a bunch of other people may pull off the greatest coup d'etat ever, where Gen Xers just get to live in this world where, well, we just printed off all the rest of the money and everybody just sucked it up and ate our dick. And it could be like that. And there was nothing bad. And it would happen later that the electricity shut off or the Chinese didn't lend us any more money or the Saudis didn't lend us any more money. So
I should clarify. I was just kind of concerned that maybe the dollar wouldn't be the world reserve currency anymore. I didn't know if that was under threat.
What's going to replace it?
I don't know.
The Chinese yuan, they're corrupt as hell. Nobody trusts the communists. I mean, it's the Russians, the Brazilians. I mean, you drop. I mean, let's be honest about Western civilization. The United States is fucking amazing. We kicked a shit ton of ass. Not we, our ancestors did. It's going to be hard to beat that.
Mm-hmm.
And every other country out there is either corrupt or nowhere near as big. Why? Because they didn't make their people free. That's how simple it is. Now we're decaying. We're going to go back to more dependency and all that other stuff. But there's still this massive infrastructure that came from generations before us that kicked ass and took names. And that's going to establish and maintain the world's reserve currency. What are you going to do? Are you going to trust the British pound?
No, it's just as an accountant, I'm wired to worry about money-related things like this.
Yeah,
So
that's economics. Don't worry about it. So.
Fred for $4.99. Chad's client reminds me of a hot redhead date who bragged to my black conservative friend that she had just come from BLM protest. So cute, PhD, but BLM. Yeah, I'd say that describes a lot of the women here in the city.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
may I point out that your average white woman that's like for BLM, she doesn't give a shit about black people. It's to be
Virtue
popular.
signaling.
Yeah, it's virtue signaling to be. Yeah. And then here's your average black dude. Like, you know, we got several black dude, obviously in Chicago, several black male friends. Ain't none of them Democrats there. They're all pretty hardcore conservatives, like pro-gun and libertarian and like fuck off with your goddamn commie shit. I think several of them. Yeah, but
one of the things that Kevin Samuels makes fun of during his shows is a lot of the women, they like to brag, I'm a PhD, but he gives it to them straight that no guys care about that. It doesn't make their penises hard. So
right. PhD in what?
Exactly.
Right.
$1.99, Fred. But Chad, it's so hard for women to avoid the BLM protests. Well, you know what's hard for them to avoid? It's hard for them to avoid posting on social media that they went to them, if they went to one.
Just let them be, man. Like if that's their day, that's their happiness that they went to a BLM protest, let it be. I'm kind of in burning bridges mode where it's like, nah, you all voted for this. This is all what you want. And now it's time for you to suffer that. Like, you know, these girls could have had like family, children, love, husband, dick up their mazach, you know, like satisfied orgasms. No, they want to have their politics and support BLM. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they were lied to like us. DJ Aftershock for $2. Chad wants to move to Massachusetts with leftist Irish people. Massachusetts is one of the worst freaking states for taxes, man. Like, Taxachusetts sucks.
I heard it's horrible. Did they have a local income tax or no?
They don't have a local one, but I mean, their taxes are high. Their tax return is like, and this is the basic one, their tax return is like 25 pages long because there's all kinds of little things where they try to add on taxes. Did you know that they had Obamacare before Obamacare was a thing? Because
yeah, Romney did that. Yeah. Who was a Republican. Yeah, to be intellectually honest. Yeah.
Massachusetts, New York, California are the worst of the worst. Mexi Mike for $5. But Aaron, it's hard for females to stay in shape when you got a sucker to bankroll your life while he has also expected you to stay swole and make bank at 25 hours a week. Dan Bilzerian.
Yeah, I guess he fell out of favor, didn't he?
I haven't heard much from him lately. Did he? Did he get?
I thought his business failed and other things.
Maybe it did. Yeah.
Well, I have no problem stating this. He did come from wealth. His dad was a trust fund or a hedge fund guy. Yes. So yeah. I'm kind of like, yeah, you give me that money and watch what I do. So yeah.
Eddie Ray for $10. Sleepy Cappy, get some sleep.
I do need to get some sleep. I was up at 3:30 this morning, and
why?
Because I didn't sleep. That's why I didn't choose. I just woke up and I was like, my mind runs with stuff and concerns and things. And so I was up. I took like 2 melatonin pills, and I took 2 good belts of scotch or bourbon. Then I fell asleep. But then I woke. No, I know, man. I just don't want to make that jump. I know. You and Atham are. I know. But no, I do feel like shit, and I look like shit. So it's
take a nap. Ahmed Khan for $4.99. Do you think that engineering may become oversaturated in the future? Also, for religion, I agree it's a belief, not a science. There's no proof.
See, and Ahmed's honest about this. Him and Dennis Prager share the same thing. Dennis Prager said there is no proof. There's only belief and faith, which was the most honest thing I've ever heard from any man of the cloth or any particular religion. But no, engineering could become oversaturated. maybe with foreign immigrants all majoring in that, because more traditional cultures are not so delusional as to send all their kids to the liberal arts school and liberal arts college. But I don't think that's going to happen here in the United States, simply because it's hard. You know, everyone's like, what if everybody majored in engineering? Well, thank God nobody, we're elite, guys. We're the best. What if every woman got thin and hot? Well, that's not going to happen because most women are lazy and they don't want to like lose weight. All right. It's only going to be like a top 5 to 10% of people that are going to do that. So I won't worry about engineering become oversaturated.
It's hard for women to stay thin.
It's so hard. It's so hard, Chad. And your mom's an old school gal. You know, she's not.
Right. There's definitely more. Yeah.
Darn it.
Oh, we were saying in the chat that it would be funny to watch you take hallucinogens. I think we'd get a kick out of that.
Not going to take hallucinogens. All right, here we go.
Eric Burns March for 517 in honor of Chad. Thanks, man. At May 17th, it will be an excellent day. I'm hoping it's not going to be too crazy from now until then, but yes, I will feel happy that day. It's a Monday. Juan,
who's this schmo? This is a wannabe athlete. Who was this schmuck over here?
He's got something going for him that I think is just awesome, but I don't know if I should say it, publicly.
No, don't tell it on the internet. No, don't.
I won't. No, I won't.
Let Juan
totally
be.
Won't.
Yeah,
totally won't.
No.
For $1.99, he says, as a Latinx, I demand you have more diversity.
Well, you could send me some of those hot chicks from your telenovas, Juan. I'll take some of those Mexican chicks with the big tits that are on the telenovas are like, oh yeah.
The Weather Girls. They got, occasionally I'll check out Univision or Telemundo. They have the hottest freaking Weather Girls.
Wonder why that is. Wonder why.
Professor Paul's Lab for $5. Hey Cap, do you want me to finish the Super Mario Brothers mod with you in it? Condename Theta here. Spring semester is over, so I have more time to spare. Do you game?
I don't game. I didn't know there was going to be a Super Mario Brothers mod with me. I mean, yeah, if you're bored out of your mind, but you're this guy. Now you got to understand, he's our physicist agent in the field. This guy's like got a super high IQ. Buddy, if you got more important shit to do it. Don't worry about me. So, but yeah, if there was like a Aaron Clary jumping over brick stuff, so I'd be all right with it.
Adriano Ramos for $10 Australian. I love this. Before I read this, have you ever seen the movie American Psycho?
No, I haven't.
Well, I won't spoil anything, but this is part of it. He goes on these music dialogues. Huey Lewis was a little too new wave for my taste. But when sports came out in '83, I think they really came into their own commercially and artistically. Basically, this Wall Street, yuppie kind of broy douchebag will just randomly go on these soliloquies about
Christian
Huey Lewis,
Bale, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so, right.
Whitney Houston, Phil Collins, Genesis, and Huey Lewis. It's a funny part of the movie. Wisco Nomad for $2. Beartooth Highway is the best drive in the U.S.
It's up there. It's up there. It's a short drive, but it's up there.
Dad teaches in words to my son for $5. I did mean information security, cyber security, network and or computer security. It's a career, but thankless. It seems thankless. Yeah. I got a client who does that. Would you like to guess what the super sticker shows?
Can you see it?
I can see it. I know you can't.
I can't. Which is the irony of all these super stickers. I've made thousands of dollars on super stickers. I have not seen one of them. It can't be a Mexican poops. He must have moved on from Mexican poops. What is it?
So it looks like a hippopotamus, and it says one up, at the bottom of it. And the hippo is kind of biting at the one up, like an extra life, I guess. It's kind of hard to describe.
That would be our buddy Atham. Yes. Speaking of which,
Atham, $2. Cappy, you must eat one. Meat hairy mushroom or magic mushroom. I recommend the magic mushroom.
I will. I think I'll just stick with the booze. I think that's because I've seen drugs destroy other. I'm afraid if I did pot, then I do meth. If I did meth, I do heroin. I've seen heroin destroy people's lives, so I don't
The gateway drug theory. The gateway drug theory.
It's just
pot's medicine, but I hear you. Don't worry about it.
I'll have booze, and booze is okay by me. So.
Channel 1800 Dumb, $5 New Zealand. Cappy, you look fine. How about brandy better, chamomile tea, magnesium, taurine should be good, mate. iHerb.com. You take melatonin.
Take melatonin.
And Unisom.
I don't take Unisom. I take a lot of supplements like fish oil, Cholestoff, that lowers my cholesterol. Yeah, I do take a lot of supplements. Magnesium and zinc for joints because I don't want to like be my stepmom where their fingers are all crumpled up because nope, I'm not going to do that.
I take vitamin D in the winter because it's never sunny here in the winter.
Right.
But anyway,
right. I understand.
Ahmed Khan for $9.99. Aaron, if you could restart your life, how would you do it?
I would be born to rich people. That's what I would do. If you have your choice, Ahmed, I would be born to rich people.
Wouldn't we all?
If I were to restart it, I would join the military. This is nothing new. I would have just joined the military fresh out of high school. I would not have majored in finance. I would have majored in some kind of engineering, probably physics, nuclear physics. Maybe even a CPA had I known about the internet. But yeah, if I were to restart my life, how would I do it? I would, I don't know. I kind of practice what I preach. Like I have a vasectomy. I wouldn't get girls pregnant. I mean, it's not, I'm not perfect compared to my own standard I hold myself up to, but by gosh, I have pursued it. So it wouldn't look necessarily that much different. I would spend very little. I would, I guess I'd make sure I didn't get girls pregnant. That's just not the only thing. The major thing would be joining the military because it would have been easier. Would have been way easier.
I don't know if you would enjoy being a CPA. It's kind of
well, it beats being a credit analyst.
Yeah. There's some more.
Oh, we got that. All right.
Channel 1800 Dumb New Zealand, $5. Now, Chad, buddy, mate, does it pee you off in the crimson that your name is a meme? Haha. Aaron or Chad, do you know anyone called Tyrone? I've got a client named Tyrone. He's a bartender. And yes, he's a Tyrone and a Chad.
White guy?
No. Although this is kind of interesting. Just the other day, I met for the first time ever a white person named Marcus. I'd never seen that before.
You never ran into a white guy named Marcus?
Not here,
that's
at
not
least.
That uncommon. Yeah, that's that's pretty regular. Yeah.
Oh, the first time for me. So what pisses me off more than anything, and you didn't have to worry about seeing this because I know you weren't watching any of the sports ball March Madness. There's this terrible show on TBS right now called Chad. Like that's the name. It's Chad. It's about this. Yeah, stupid loser high school kid that's just. It's awful.
Wait, a boy named Chad. It's like a young boy, girl. Yes, I've seen that. It looks horrible. It looks absolutely horrific. Yes.
Why'd they have to pick my name for that? Don't answer that question.
It's going to be over. Don't worry. That show is cancer. It's
horrible. Wisco Nomad for $2. Aaron, is Sturgis Motorcycle Rally worth seeing? Have you done that?
Yeah, I did it a couple times. It's not. I'll tell you this: the Black Hills are definitely worth riding in. Like if you're a motorcycle guy, or maybe you're not a motorcycle guy, you just like motorcycles and you want to, check it out. Going to Sturgis 2 weeks before or 2 weeks after the actual Sturgis Rally is absolutely worth it. So go check out Mount Rushmore. Go to Deadwood. Have a cigar lounge or a cigar over at the Cigar Lounge in Rapid City. But the Sturgis Rally it's not like it was in the 70s where like chicks with big tits. It's chicks from the 70s whose tits are now pruny, ride topless. The only good looking people are the staff they hire, and it's Boomer. It's Boomer Fest. That's what it is. It's Boomer Fest. No one drives. No one knows how to drive. It's a bunch of banker boomers who like, there's the legit, what's the motorcycle gang?
Hell's
Hell's
Angels.
Angels. Hell's Angels. All right. So they're still legit. All right. But most of it is like, I drove and trailered my bike out here and I have 300 miles on it. It's not worth going to.
What's
so
the
I would
ratio?
avoid a ratio of what to what?
Just gender. Like, is it a sausage fest? Is it pretty balanced?
60-40, more men than women. Yeah.
Not
I mean,
bad.
maybe back in the 70s it was hot, but it's just old. It's just old people who don't know how to drive their motorcycles. That's about it. And I'm sure there's a hardcore group, but yeah, I've been to Sturgis twice on my motorcycle, and it's not worth it. It's go the week or two before, or 2 weeks before. So I do,
Joy Davis for $5. My
women. My God.
My coworker guy got me hooked on your stuff while driving to and from work. I agree. More chicks need to hear your stuff. Thanks. Keep it coming.
Thanks, Joy. Send lingerie-clad pics in heels and thigh highs. Thank you very much. Thanks, Joy. I'm glad we're always happy to have women here. Because there's not a lot, and I kind of feel bad for because the gals that like tolerate this show, you got to admit they got some chops on them, right? I mean, they kind of they got to be a little bit more intellectually honest than the average person. So I'm glad that Joy is here with us.
Dre for $2.
We don't need more black guys. That's what we don't need more black guys like this. We don't need no more damn Mexicans. That's what we don't need. I'll tell you that right now. That's
6'2" black guys with big penises. Cappy has the personality type for the Marines.
Like I said, I wish I had gone into the military.
You know what the Marines used to do when I was in high school in Kenya? They used to hook up. So the Marines, of course, were stationed over there.
The U.S. Marines or the Kenyan Marines?
No, the U.S. Marines.
Okay,
were stationed. So they were probably like 19, 20, 21.
Right.
They used to hook up with all of the high school senior gals, the Americans that were over there. And I'm just thinking, is that legal? I mean, nobody ever got in trouble.
In Kenya, it is. Probably it's legal in Kenya.
I was thinking more like, were there protocols against Marines doing that? I guess not, because every year they would do that, and it would piss off all the dads of these high school seniors.
Oh, well, and maybe the dad should have been more participatory in their daughters' lives then. So maybe dad should have been more like the Marines, huh? So
they were all diplomats traveling all the time.
Hey, okay, chat. Am I all for a blue-collar, hard-working Dre-type Marine giving the big D to some diplomat's daughter from the suburbs of D.C.? Am I for that?
Let me think.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Let's give those Marines, let's give our boys a little bit of a treat. Absolutely. Marines are great. I mean, they're about the closest thing we got to knights. That's about the closest thing we got is the Marines.
It's actually kind of cool. My sister was dating and hooking up with one. She's a couple years older than me, and the Marine was so awesome. Like, we'd go to bars and casinos. It was just a lot of fun.
Hey, Marines are pretty cool people. They're not, because they go through shit. I mean, I know if we ever met Dre, despite him being a homosexual, we'd probably still like him anyway. We'd probably be okay with Dre. That's
Jav Tondes for $5. Aaron, why do you keep recommending the military? In my experience, it's like any other corporate shithole, but raised to 1,000 unless you're special ops.
Here's the reason, JV. You get paid way more being in the military than anything you're going to do in your 20s. Unless you're like a high-end engineer or something like that, or, programmer over in Silicon Valley, or a doctor. You get free food, free clothing, free shelter, and free healthcare, and free tuition. And I know, Aaron, you could have been Iraq or what. Like, yeah, it still would have been easier. Because I'll tell you this, working full-time and going to school full-time and being sleep-deprived and drop it down to 118 pounds. You know what happens when you go into the military? Unless you're deployed and you're removed from your supply chain. You know what happens when you join the military?
You get in pretty good shape.
You gain muscle. You don't drop down to 118 fucking pounds. Now, admittedly, This is unique circumstances in particular to my individual life and parents and all that other stuff. All right. It was pretty bad. All right. But it just would have been easier. And I see a lot of young minority men, Hispanic and black, but other people as well. I mean, it's not, the trailer park as well. You're not going to find a better deal than the fucking military, where you get free food, clothing, and shelter. Because I was working security making $6.90 an hour, admittedly in 1994 dollars. All right. Guys, you're just not. And I know one problem a lot of military guys have is they think like, oh, it's just so much better in the civilian world. Like, no, it ain't. It is not. It's just, I mean, now if you're getting shot at and killed and blown up and you're like actually at war, yeah, probably the civilian world looks a little bit better. But in peacetime, no, just be happy you're in the military. Take the GI Bill, go run, be happy, rejoice. Just please. That's what I would have done.
Have you seen the movie G.I. Jane?
No, I'm not going to watch. Why would I watch that?
Yeah, don't. Oh, just checking. DJ Aftershock. Chad, which state is the most full of Republicans? I think you can probably answer that one better than me.
I guess something like maybe Alabama, Mississippi. Well, I guess Wyoming as a percentage of the population.
Utah.
Utah. Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, Utah would probably be the most highest percentage. Yeah.
Juan Doe, €2. Cappy, next book, Mein Kampf, My Struggle.
Mein Kampf, that was the book that Hitler wrote.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to read Hitler's book. Because in the end, he was a fucking socialist douchebag.
Yeah, with a weird mustache.
I'm okay with the mustache. It's just like, hey, let's kill this group of people over here for no effing reason at all. Like, hello? What? Huh?
You ever see Inglourious Bastards? God, I love that movie.
Really?
You didn't
liked it. It wasn't my favorite. I just, it was all right. Yeah.
I just really liked it. Channel 1800 Dumb, New Zealand, $5. Cappy, please stop wearing slippers to the bathroom. Your earpiece looks like a floppy cam. Love you.
Hey, they got this in New Zealand. They got this finger over there. They got that on the southern part of the equator right there. There. Send your hot sister over. Tell her I said hi.
I'd like to visit New Zealand someday.
I do want to visit New Zealand, yeah. DT lived in New Zealand for a while.
Cool. Did he watch TV the whole time? No, I'm just kidding. DJ Aftershock, $2. I meant in the cucky variety.
Minnesota. Because, all right, just because Minnesota is a blue state doesn't mean there aren't conservatives here. But I would have to say Minnesotan is the biggest group of conservatives out there because these men just let all their women and their daughters and their sons run right over them. It's like, oh, any degree is a good degree. I'll let you know. This is too good. Like the scene where the daughter comes back from a semester, her freshman year, and then lectures her father about being racist. That's Minnesota. Those are Minnesota cucks. Absolutely.
Adriano Ramos for $5 Australian. Chad, was the Premier League wrong to block the Saudi Prince takeover of Newcastle United? Honestly, I don't really have an opinion. I think it should be more of a free market. If somebody wants to buy a football club, they should be able to, but I don't know all the details as to why he was blocked.
Glad we have somebody that knows about that stuff.
Fred Friedman Sal for $1.99. Can I send pictures from Playa del Atham on trip? Sure. Why not?
That's it. All right, good. You got to get going, right? Hour and a half?
Yeah, just about. Are we caught up? I think
we're caught up. Yep, I think we're caught up. So thank you for everybody.
Yeah, thanks, guys. You're always so generous, and I really appreciate it.
Okay, you got a cuter ass than I do, so everyone likes you more than me. That's the problem. I don't get no $50 donations. It's very rare. It's just it's like, oh, only when Chad shakes his little tushy on the catwalk. Yeah. So
well, based on the message, I think that might be coincidental that I happen to be here when you got that.
Here we go. Nonstop.
Oh,
Trey Gay. Hey, Dre's got competition. Yeah.
I need an accountant, Chad. I'm strapped for cash, but I could pay you in other ways. And Cappy, it's 12 inches, flaccid or not, with the penis emoji. Eggplant.
That's an eggplant. That's an eggplant.
It's known to be the, anyway.
Yeah. So, all right. You want to take us out appropriately?
Well, did you want to say, like if you want to find yourself, not me, but where people can find you and all that? Or?
Yeah, I guess I could sell my crap. I guess everyone knows. All right. So the Book of Numbers, Analyzing the ROI of the Pursuit of Women. The Penn's Principle, not my book, written by Randall Bentwick. Make sure you don't get falsely accused of rape. This guy, do you know this guy? This schmo?
I just know
Rich
that
Couper?
he likes to move heavy objects around. And he loves my name.
All right. Yes. And then I guess the main thing would be Bachelor Economics, which is, I guess, my flagship product. And then if you also want to get what's wrong with Bachelor Economics?
No. Atham just had a great super chat just now.
What, is he in here? God dang it.
Yeah.
Where is he?
Oh, shout out to Matt Forney, who was in the chat earlier.
Oh, Forney is in the chat. Okay, I got to check in with Matt. Yeah, so then also get this book, How Not to Become a Millennial. I wish that book would have done better. All right, yeah, go ahead and read it.
All like Chad more than Aaron, including my sister.
Because his sister is wrong.
Well, one of them likes you more.
What, the younger one?
I just remember one of them liked me a little more and the other liked you a little more.
Okay, all right. I don't care about the young. I do care about the younger one in like a moral sense. But the fact that it is his sister that likes you more is the eldest sister, and she stabbed me, fellow eldest sibling in the back. That's what really hurts. Where it's kind of like, wait, don't we have like an agreement? Don't we have like a blood bond? Being the eldest siblings, you should cover my 6. I'll cover your 6. Apparently not. Apparently you're too handsome. Apparently she likes you more than me. So I just.
Why don't I make you feel better? I'm pretty sure at this point my parents might like you a little bit more than me, since you visited them down there way more than I have.
It's not a secret. I visit them. That's, maybe you ought to try to visit your own parents every once in a while. So.
Fred Friedman Sal for $1.99. I have to attend my anti-racism training a bit. I do not miss working for a corporation. Holy hell, I don't miss it.
If anyone ever came up and said, I'm like, are you accusing me of racism? No, are you accusing me of racism? You are accusing? Go fuck off. I would quit in half a second.
Never.
All right, take us out.
All right, guys. Toodles.